Welcome back to Delivering More, folks. Thank you for joining us morning or afternoon or evening. We appreciate consuming the content whenever you can. As always, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That's going to help us out more than you can ever know. I have a great Meet the Team to bring to you folks again today. We have President and CEO of DeliverThat, Darien Terrell, in the building. We're live on site at Food on Demand. Darien, what's up, dude?
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We're coming off a long night last night at the conference, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're battling back a little bit, but I think
down but never out.
we're here to talk. We're here for your Meet the Team.
Yeah.
Here to talk about you a little bit.
Yeah.
We did one in the. I mean, probably a couple years removed at this point from the first time we did this.
Yeah. So what did we do on that first one? We just kind of told the story.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're kind of just redoing it for just about everyone. Like, we started doing some of the newer employees. Now we're going back and redoing the old ones that we did previously.
Yeah.
Just so, like, it's better. Like, obviously we have better cameras now, better content, better output of the way we actually do things. And this one will probably end up running a little long, as it has with like my one with Dan. Like, these are usually supposed to be like 15-20 minutes. Dan's is like 43.
Oh yeah, run it up.
So
like,
the ones with like, well, it's tougher for me with like I love talking to the people we work with. Like, you got your Cats of the world, the Dow Pros we just put out there, Meet the Team today.
Just saw it.
Those conversations are great, amazing to have, but I don't know. I've known you for over half my life at this point, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So it's harder for me not to ask like questions that further the conversation, where like in those ones I'm like, I know my question, I don't have as many follow-ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're just going like an inch deep.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This one we
we could literally, we could dig to China if we needed to.
100%.
I do want to start though where we always do with everyone, and this one I always forget this about you.
Okay.
Actually, where were you born and where'd you grow up?
Ooh,
this is a good one for you because I always forget about this.
Yeah, I was born in Independence, Missouri. I grew up there until I was in second grade. I moved to Canton, Ohio, and then from there on, I grew up in the township in Canton.
What was the family doing in Missouri at the time, and what was the reason for the move to Canton, Ohio?
Yeah, so my mom's side of the family is from Independence.
Okay.
So my mom was raised there, born there, all that stuff. So we lived there. My grandparents were there, and then my dad took a job for an insurance company that moved him. He had to relocate, and it ended up moving him to Canton, Ohio.
Like, what are we talking about?
Exactly. And he said his specifications, like his requirements for where he wanted to live by, he said it has to be close to the highway, has to be close to a Walmart, and it has to be close to a movie theater. Those are the three things. And I shit you not, you know where like the townhouse was, right over by the movie theater.
Yeah.
Right across the street from where our first place was is a movie theater.
2 turns from a highway.
2 turns from a highway, and in the same parking lot as a movie theater is a Walmart.
That's so funny. I think and how does your dad, his family's from Los Angeles, California? Okay,
yep.
Okay. Because I was going to ask why there's no. Is your mom then? Is she St. Louis, Missouri? That'd be like the Rams, right? So
She's Independent, so it's Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a suburb of
Kansas City. Has she been loving the Chiefs ride?
Loves it.
Wiley, the Super Bowls.
Oh yeah, loves it.
Okay, I guess I never really was aware of her sports fandom. I think.
Yeah,
previously.
I think she's more of a city girl, right? She likes the city.
Okay.
She supports Kansas City. She grew up there. So like the team hotel, Wiley's team hotel, was in Independence.
Okay.
So it's right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. What we'll kind of move it a little bit forward.
Yeah.
And this will. I actually could try to answer this question for you if I wanted to guess and see what my answers for you would be. But when we met, man, I don't know when we actually met, but
It had to be like 6th grade.
yeah. So I mean, we obviously we talked about this last night a little bit. I was telling other people because you didn't break my ankle, but you tried to during a football scrimmage. I think that would have been 6th grade, A-League football. 5th grade?
No, that would be 6th grade.
6th grade. It was 6th grade.
No, 6th grade I played. No, yeah, you're right. So 5th grade was B League.
Yeah.
6th grade was A League.
Yeah.
7th grade I played on 8th grade.
Yeah, 7th. Yeah, and then you had the middle school football team.
Yeah.
I think so. We first met, I'll say, and spent time together on 7th grade basketball team.
Yep.
The purple team, Coach Heidi.
Yeah.
I believe so, right?
Yeah.
Social studies teachers at Jackson Memorial Middle School. Great guy. Love Coach Heidi. Always a great guy.
You know, he's a starter at one of those courses.
Oh, really? At a golf course now?
Yeah, I think so.
That's interesting. What I just wanted to transition to that time frame for what my next question, which is, when was that around? When? Well, I guess it was probably a couple years later once we got in high school. When did you have your first job in the township, and what was it?
Oh, dude, that was. It might have been like senior, junior year.
Oh, really? It was late.
Yeah, because we used to always like hang out and go around like Rita's and stuff like that. And, like, we didn't like work.
Yeah.
Like, right? We'd just go there, hang out. But it was, I think, Rude Dogs was my first job.
Yeah, we literally just talked about that last night too. Yeah.
That was my first job, and it didn't last long. We know how that goes. It didn't last long. I think it was. Yeah, we did tell this story. I'll tell it real quick. We used to. It was this a hot dog shop where the whole premise was you had to be rude to people.
Yeah, you had to be like mean to the employees.
Yeah,
or not
like
the
customers and stuff. So like, I'm like, this is right up my alley. I'm great for that.
Yeah.
And it would be, I'd be working on like a Friday night or a Saturday, and then like you and our other friends would walk in and like come say what's up. But then I'd be like, so what are you guys doing? And you're like, oh, we're going to do X, Y, Z, or we're hanging out. And I just FOMO to the max. And then so in my mind, I'm like, I'm sitting here working. I could be hanging out with the crew on Fridays. And so I got my first paycheck. And that was when my first like dose of reality of like, you don't make your hourly rate.
Right.
Your take home is not the same. Your net versus gross is not the same. So I think I made like $200.
You're just disgusting.
Under $200. And I'm like, I'm done. I think so. That lasted maybe 2 weeks.
I think it's also tougher that maybe that location
Sorry, you gotta beat
specifically.
that.
Yeah, we'll be all right. Well, the foot traffic, I feel like for that like business also wasn't that great. So it's like probably was pretty boring.
Yeah,
like,
it just wasn't. And then
not doing a lot.
And then I just got to flip the switch and just be an asshole to someone random. And it was like, it's not as like fun or easy as you think.
Yeah.
Like the thought of it
like
when
you
I
have
first
to,
did
when
it.
you have to think of something mean, it's actually way hard.
It's like, it's kind of awkward where I'm like, hey, hurry up, read the menu. I don't have all day. I'm like, but I do.
Yeah,
but I got
I'm
plenty
really
of time.
not going anywhere. So just do your
I actually, I got 3 more hours on the clock. So take your time, man.
That's so funny. I think so your time was that the only job you had during high school? I'm trying to think. I'm like running through my memory bank.
I was super fortunate. My parents were like, my focus on school and sports, and I mean, it's not like we were out spending a bunch of money and stuff, but it's like, I didn't have to really have a job. I had responsibilities.
For the weekend,
it's like I had responsibilities and stuff, but I wasn't forced to work throughout high school, which is nice.
And then we kind of move on from high school, right? You go to Eastern Michigan, you play football.
Yeah.
What Ypsilanti, Michigan? Let's talk about it. What
I love that place,
the donut spot.
Dom's
Donuts. Shout out Dom's Donuts.
Like, I'm not kidding. We went to a wedding, and Katie had never been to campus or anything, right?
Yeah.
So we go to a wedding, and it's probably a few hours past Ypsi. I'm like, we're stopping. She goes, what? I'm like, I'll give you a quick little tour, like show you around, show you the house, 409, all that. But we're going to Dom's. She goes, are you kidding me? I was like, yeah, we're stopping at a donut shop.
Have to.
She was like, oh, all right. We ate it. She was like, yeah, this is it.
It's great.
That place is unbelievable. I miss it, and I love them.
What else did you enjoy your time at Eastern? Like, you think I guess I'll back it up a little bit. Were there other places you could have committed to play at that you wished? Not necessarily. I mean, you obviously had a great time there. Met so many great people. You still have relationships. All that aside, do you think you would have maybe had a better football career if you went to a different school or something like that? Maybe down that realm?
I don't know. It's really tough to think about what could have been.
Like, was the other school like Akron? Like, is that where you?
Well, I had other MAC offers, right? But it was all the same schools that people from our high school were going to.
Yeah.
And
like
that
Kent
is
State.
what you had Kent, you had Akron, you had
OU.
BG, you had OU.
Yeah.
Like I had all of like those kinds of schools, but that's where everybody from our school was going, and I didn't want to be. I wanted to like just get out, right? And so when I went on my visit to Eastern, I met Hercom. I met a couple other like real good friends of mine still. Coach E was just won MAC Coach of the Year, right? So they had just had a good solid football season. So I'm like, there's a lot of upside here. Coach English is my type of guy, right? He's the type that'll tell you exactly how he feels and then some. He's more like a drill sergeant, right? I can relate better to that than, something else and passive things,
easier.
right? So I'm like, yeah. And we were all really like touted recruits at that point for that level of the program. So like myself, Quincy, so we had like 3 stars, right? You do the star program. And we're like, yeah, we might as well. If we're going to go to the MAC, like, let's do this. And I think we were one of the top, if I remember correctly, we were one of the top recruiting classes in the MAC that year.
Interesting.
And so ever since then, it was like, yeah, like, we're going to do this together type thing, right? And it sounds super cliche. Unfortunately, not all the same people that we started with made it to the end. I mean, a fraction of the people that we started with didn't make it, but the ones that did, and even the ones that didn't make it, there's no love lost, and still talk to them, but.
And I want to give a couple shout outs to the Eastern Michigan football program, because since your time there, realistically, and now they're starting to develop people, I think, a little bit better. They just had someone get drafted.
2 of them.
Two people, yeah.
3, actually.
A lineman, right?
Yep,
then the D end is the kid at D end.
Yep. So Jose and
Jose Ramirez, yeah.
Yeah, and then
what's the other kid's name? Like Sally's?
City Sal.
Sal.
Yeah, and then they had a kicker who.
Oh really?
Yeah, he kills it. He's like the leading scorer in Eastern history, like all that stuff. He brought back my faith and my belief in kickers. Dude was just banging them.
That's a tough look.
But he graduated from Eastern 4 years and then hit the transfer portal, graduated, went to Maryland.
Oh.
And then killed it. I mean, I think he got drafted in like the fucking 4th round.
Oh, he was like that. Who I think it's like the Patriots or something.
Yeah,
took a kicker super early.
Yeah, that's where he went. He's with the Patriots and so City, so they're both on the team again.
Oh, that's sick. I just wanted to bring that up because obviously you spent 5 years there.
Yeah, 5
realistically. But in your time there, you played with 3 NFL players: Max, Wiley, Pat, right? Probably more.
DJ,
probably more.
We
probably more.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to.
Bronson.
Super notable. Also.
Yeah. Okay. No knocking, but
no,
I get what you're saying.
Obviously, there's
a name
others.
that you guys would understand.
The culture of Eastern, I feel like when you first showed up, we had like our sophomore year of football, we went 0-10, right?
Yeah.
And then when you went to Eastern, you guys were really bad when you first got there, right? Yeah.
Terrible.
And then your last year, you go to, I think your last 2 years, you went to a bowl game, right?
No, it was the last year.
Last year?
Was the first bowl game in 30 years.
Okay.
But then ever since then,
they've gone every year or something along those lines.
Yep.
Yeah, it's wild. I think the shift and that culture's been wild. And then obviously, just then you having those relationships now and like being able to foster like a relationship with Max Crosby, Andrew Wiley. Yeah, it's just like it's something like I would have never expected like something like that to happen. I think previously, other than. And I guess in my mind, I was like envisioned it being like you. Mm-hmm. That would be like my NFL friend, not like
my friends.
Yeah, not NFL your friends that we would now like be like coordinated with and know outside of that friendship.
Yeah.
So I think it's super wild.
Yeah, it's always funny. I love seeing these guys succeed. They're killing it.
Yeah.
So it's I'm super happy for them.
What we'll kind of skip through your time at Eastern, then you take an extra year to get your MBA.
Yeah. So I did I did 4 years. I got my my business degree, but I redshirted. So there's a thing called redshirting for people that don't know. That means you get an extra year of eligibility,
right?
Because you don't play in any games.
Yeah.
I practice. I work out.
Well, nowadays you can play in like 4 games.
Yeah, it's like 4 games,
yeah.
Which is crazy. But yeah, I redshirted, so I had the ability to graduate in 4 years and do my MBA, my master's in my 5th year, my senior year, what you call a redshirt senior year, my last year of eligibility for football. So yeah.
And then while you're doing that, you're going back and forth from Canton to Ipsy.
So I started my MBA in the summer going into my senior season. And then once I was done with football, I was doing my MBA again until the end of winter semester. Summer semester started, like once winter ended, I'm out of there. I leave Ipsy and I come back.
Yeah, you only had like a couple classes left or something.
No,
like
I
that.
had a shit ton of classes.
Oh, really?
But they were all online. So like I took 6 classes that summer. And then one of those classes was a capstone that I had to drive back from Ipsy.
That's what the capstone.
Yeah, I had to drive back from Ipsy to Canton once a week because they didn't allow it online and you needed it to graduate. And so, yeah.
So this timeline kind of leads me into my next typical question is how you hear about DeliverThat and how you first get involved. I think that's right around the timeline, right? Then
it's right here, yeah.
So then you start delivering for DeliverThat, I think, kind of on the side. Yeah. And then, so obviously we all went to high school. Aaron, John, the founders, you and I, Jim, all went to high school together. What briefly before we touch on DeliverThat, what was the relationship with like Aaron and John growing up?
Yeah, so funny. Like everybody always asks that, right?
So the only reason I was talking to someone about it last night. Someone asked me, and I was actually kind of weird. Like,
it's pretty funny because so growing up, like we knew each other. We were cordial, right? But we just weren't.
You couldn't not know each other.
Yeah, but we just weren't friends.
Yeah,
right. We weren't.
I wouldn't even say you weren't friends.
We just were acquaintances.
Yeah.
We we'd see each other. We'd say like hi, stuff like that. But we'd never hang out. We were not in the same circle. We were affiliated with some of the same friends.
All played sports. Like
they played baseball. I played football, and that's really probably why I didn't like hang out with them.
Yeah, just different crew.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that and bring that fast forward. So it started. I think I went down and I visited everybody at Ohio University, your guys' college.
Yeah.
And that was
football
was done.
Was that a number fest?
No, I never got to make it to one of those because our spring game was always right around that in April.
What was that?
It was a New Year's.
That's what I was going to say because everyone came down.
Yeah,
Jim came down.
And we stayed for, we were supposed to come for one night. We stayed for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So I got to know him pretty well then. And it was just kind of like a really turnkey relationship, just like all the rest of us.
So how does, when you're back moving to town, how does a conversation even pop up? Like how'd you hear about the platform? How'd you know to sign up to be a driver? Yeah. Did they just ask you to be a driver? Like what actually happened?
So it's actually really funny because I forget who it was at the time. Somebody that went to OU, and I was like, yeah, my buddies like started this company. They're like, oh, I know them. And I'm like, what the right? Like I didn't know how big it was. I didn't know the gravity of it. And then we had that massive group chat we used to all be in. Right? You remember it was the group me?
Yeah, the group me.
The massive group chat we were all in. And
let's go.
No way. Jalapeno?
Part of my cheesesteak.
Shout out.
No way.
Shout out Steph. Shout out
We've been
EDC.
wanting one of these for a while.
I'm gonna have to try this live. I'm gonna have to try this live on air.
I'm not kidding around. I'm not a cheesesteak guy. That was fucking great.
Oh, save those
Let's go,
jalapenos.
I'm actually starving.
My man,
Thank
that's
you
a
so
good
much.
friend. See, and this is good. You see what I'm talking about? He got me the favorite kind of chips too. That's
The
good friend.
Vicky's.
Yeah, you know the Miss Vicky's jalapenos.
I fucking love those.
They're the best.
The barbecue or the jalapeno.
They're the best. Are you eating it right now?
Dude, I gotta take at least one bite. I'm so hungry.
Okay, give it a live review then.
Yeah, live review. Part of my cheesesteak.
Here, put your mic down so you can.
Oh,
I got you.
Part of my cheesesteak, folks. Got a little meat, cheese. Looks like a little onion in there.
Nice.
Looks nice. Nice breading.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bread.
Okay. Looks like good bread.
It's good. The bread's actually great.
Yeah.
Super good. But
yeah,
I think an honest review, it's very good. I also think it's a good delivery product.
great.
A cheesesteak is super easy, convenient to make, deliver, travels well. I think that aspect of it is very nice. I enjoy that. Very good. Part of my cheesesteak. Great cheesesteak.
Good. I like to hear that. I'll save mine for afterwards. Where were we at? Talking about friendship.
your start. How you
Yeah,
got started.
how we were friends. They were in the group chat, whatever, and I needed some money to, after I'm just banging out all these classes, I needed to pay for gas. I'm broke college kid, basically, to go back to Ipsy once a week. So started just like, hey, I'll do a couple deliveries, right? Just like, yeah, I'll do them. And then from there, we just started doing deliveries. I saw I made good money. I saw it wasn't hard. It gave me a break from doing case studies and doing all these papers and all that fun stuff. Yeah, so I did a few of those, and then from there we just started hanging out a little bit more. And Zeno was always and Hoffman, they're always like, hey, like come work for us, like come on full time. I'm like, I'm like I just graduated, like with my MBA. I just finished college football. I'm like I'm trying to get paid.
Use your degree.
Yeah, like I'm trying to make some money, right? And that's really where the inception of the whole idea of starting, like joining up, kind of started, right? Because I took that job, I went the Fortune 500 route. It was not for me, and then I started selling on my lunch breaks, right? And I think we might have talked about that in the past, so I won't belabor on that. But started selling on my lunch breaks, and I had a blast doing it. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. This is like, I got told no, right? I looked like an idiot, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this
like
is
reinvigorated.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So I quit that job, moved back to my parents' house in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, because that job was in Pittsburgh, outside of Pittsburgh. Moon,
yep.
Moon, Pennsylvania.
I was living in Moon, but I was working in Cranberry.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did that, and I moved back here, or back to Canton, moved back in with the parents, and then we just started working out of Hoffman's dad's basement.
What was your first role with the company, like a business development?
Yep. It was
just getting partnerships.
Just selling.
Yeah.
Just sales. So yeah, my path went just like sales, whatever title it was, and then director of business development, chief business development officer. Then I went to president, and then president and CEO.
Yeah.
But started as a driver.
Yeah. It's wild. I think it's just crazy. Even anytime we talk about it, I think for me, it's just like, damn, like the route you go to end up like back in Canton, Ohio, like with people you grew up with, is like why'd I have to like go leaps, bounds, around this corner, around that corner, just to like get back here where it's like it was in front of me the whole time. Yeah.
But I'm so happy because there's no doubt in my mind. Like, people always, and I'll see it on LinkedIn, people ask, if you have a kid, would you urge or suggest your kid to pursue a startup early on in their career or pursue a corporate lifestyle, right? And for me, like, I'm super happy that I went that way and I started out in corporate so that I knew, like, I never want to go back.
I can't do it.
And it's not for me. And there's not like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. No, I know what's on the other side, and like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I'm super happy that I did take that path. I got to go live with my buddy again, and he was my roommate in college too. So we lived in Pittsburgh, and we had a good time. It was fun.
Yeah, I think to actually put a year on it, your start date is March 2018. I know I think we did this on the last meet. We had a little back and forth about this, or it was that Brittany's that we bickered over a little bit. But so that was 2018. We come on. Everyone else starts to come on. Jim comes on. Mitch comes on. Christian comes on. I come on. 2018. All that kind of begins, and now we're gonna hit 100+ employees at the end of the year, doing over $100 million in catering delivery in a year.
Yeah.
Probably fairly easily. I think we were just under 90 last year, something like that.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
So we'll be probably pretty easily over 100 million this year. The scope of the company at this point in time, how we operate now, you've always been a super big proponent, and it comes easy when you tell the story like you just did, how you went from driver to president and CEO, of our mantra, by drivers for drivers.
Yeah.
I think we have a state of DT once a month to kind of go over workplace KPIs, internal numbers, things like that, talk about where we are, what happened the previous year, what we did this year. And you usually always kind of end it in some aspect speaking about by drivers for drivers. We know like what we're doing because we have this backing, this understanding, like this is our fundamental.
Yeah.
Like we're doing right by them, they'll do right by us. What yeah, can you speak to that a little bit? Like why how'd that mantra come about? Why is that so like fundamental to your belief within the company? Why is it so important to you?
Yeah, because I mean, you know me, like respect is a big thing, right? And doing these deliveries and going out, and I had to launch multiple markets, right? And so when we used to launch markets, I would go to a city for a month, and I would be doing the deliveries, taking all of that, and then you see firsthand that there's such a lack of respect for like me doing you a service, right? And it's just it blew my mind, right? And I used to really eat away at me. I'm like, it pissed me off. Like people would be
like
taking their bad taking their bad day out on me when I was just doing what you asked, right? You asked for a delivery, like I'm doing that. I'm driving in my car, like I'm picking up the food, I'm walking this through the hospital, I'm setting it up, right? But you want to be rude with me or look at me like I'm like nobody,
like what are we talking
right?
about?
And so that used to always just really rub me the wrong way. And then you also see that there was multiple scenarios where I would be the one, launching the market, but then I would hear, hey, your driver did this, right? And it's immediately the driver's fault.
Yeah, there's no conversation about it. It's like, this is what happened.
But that driver was me.
Oh yeah,
And so,
yeah.
And so I was like, well, that's just not accurate because I was the one
I
there.
literally
like
did
that
it.
was me.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. But you start to see this over time that there's so many things that that you start to realize, and I'd say like little pit stops that you realize that drivers just don't really have a voice or an advocate.
Yeah, just the perception of them too has always been
exactly, and so
under what it should be.
And so that's really the driving factor for me is just I've been in their shoes. I've been there. I've been pissed off and like talked to and I'm not saying drivers are perfect because I'm not perfect. I used to mess up. I used to drop off the wrong order. Just everybody
takes you 15 minutes to find a suite.
Yeah,
you just can't find it.
And so it's like drivers aren't perfect, but they're also human beings. They're not less than. They're not anything different than you are, right? And that's the beauty of what we do is getting into the market, and what you're doing right now is connecting with these drivers. You get a full understanding of they're not just a delivery driver, and that's what always irks me because the driver will be like, "Oh, I'm just a delivery driver." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're a person. You're a mom. You're a daughter. You're a husband, a wife. You're a retired attorney, a PhD. Like you are an MD. Like you are all of these things."
What did Natalie Atherton at Denver? She just won a
Miss Denver.
Miss Denver, yeah,
or Miss Colorado, or something along, or Mrs. Yeah. But I mean, you're a veteran. Like there's so many things that like you're not just a delivery driver,
right.
And it's so easily forgotten. And so till the wheels fall off this company, I will preach that, and I will be an advocate.
Yeah, I think too that that perception that we're kind of talking to, it's gotten better over the past
COVID
few
helped.
years, right?
To be honest, COVID helped, and like because it was helpful to be able to see, and it was really cool to be able to see the paradigm shift of individuals on how you view an essential worker, which they were dubbed, right? Someone who you wouldn't think twice. A grocery store, right? The person that's at the checkout counter, like you're not having a conversation. It's like your job, do your job, whatever, right? No, like thank you so much for being here because I need some food.
Right.
I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything.
Can't get it any
if you
other
can't,
way.
if you weren't here, I couldn't survive, right? So, I love to be able to see just people's appreciation for our Amazon drivers, our UPS drivers, our postal service, like everybody that's been out there working and didn't get enough credit in the past.
When I think so, that's kind of the culture of DeliverThat that we've kind of thrive within, and then I think now, this will be like my like closing question. We'll see where it goes from here, but I think now, speaking in real time, it's 2023. It's I don't know May 4th, Thursday, 12:41 p.m.
PST.
Mountain Time.
Nope.
Pacific Time.
Yeah.
PST. We are at Food on Demand conference. We put out a press release right before the conference in regards to a dashboard that we're able to present to give the restaurant operators a better overview of their catering deliveries on all aspects of all platforms, as long as DeliverThat's the delivery provider. The tech aspect of things, as we're growing, Is that do these kind of things excite you? Like I think dude, was this last night I said this when it was you and I talking? I said like we all like I feel like we've all had this vision for such a long time, and it's like now, that's what I said. I said like the pieces are like finally starting to like fit together. Like it feels like things are like really like now we're getting to the point where I feel like this is like what we all saw. Like we're actually getting there now.
Yeah. It's so we might have to parse your question up, but for that piece, it's really cool to be able to see what we've known would happen come to fruition. And I think everybody else is now being able to see what we see, right? And I talk to like Aaron about this all the time, or he'll get really excited about something, and I'll just be, pretty just even keeled with it.
Keep it, middle of the road.
Cool, but because I expected it, and I don't want it to sound cliche, but like, it's truly I expected this to happen, right? So I'm not surprised by anything. The stage doesn't get any bigger. It's like, okay, now the next phase, the next step. Like, it's not. I think that's how you're able to combat complacency, because you only become complacent in my eyes when you're surprised by the result, right? Oh my God, holy shit, I'm surprised we're here. Like, let me soak it all in, right? If you're soaking it all in and you're staying like okay with where you're at, you're not gonna keep growing forward at all. So, like this great background that we had. We've never hosted anything where we've done this, but everybody was so excited about it. I'm like, well, I expected it to be like this.
Yeah.
They spent enough money. You guys put enough time into it. Like, fucking better look like this, right?
Gotta hopefully pan out at some point.
So it's really cool to see, and I do have moments where I have to stop and like appreciate things, but like it's never the point where I'm just absorbed and obsessed with where we're at, because it's not even close to where we want to be. So it's a good step, a step that I knew we had to take, and we all knew we had to take, but it's not, the race isn't over. Yeah. Right. So
that's like lap one.
Yeah, it's step one.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like we're just getting started. We haven't broke a sweat yet. So that's how I really view it. Super happy, and I always try to pass this message along after I say something like that. Is it never discredits anything that anybody's doing, right? And I always appreciate and tell people and how much value they're bringing and how much value I see in what their work is. So don't let my steady state, never please be like, oh, you're disrespecting me and I'm not valuable. That is not the case. But I expect everybody on our team, for the first time in our business, we're growing so quickly, but still every single person on our team, I feel great about. There's not a single individual that I've met, even the new hires, right? Wow, you guys are getting really good. And I'll tell this, Christian, you guys are getting really good at finding people that fit our company.
Understanding who actually will fit.
Yeah, people that will fit our company and fit our goal and our drive. So I'm super happy with who we have, where we're going, and what's to come.
Yeah, I don't have much. I don't have much to say after that. I want to close it out. I know I said that was my last question, but while you were just talking, I thought of another one.
Yeah.
We're both coming off birthdays.
Oh yeah.
Over the past month, and next year is the big 3-0.
Oh yeah.
I was talking to Earl a little bit yesterday, I think, about turning 30. He was telling me the differences between 20s and 30s.
Okay.
When I like have a birthday, I'm still at the point where I like am like wake up, like people are like, that there's like some Jim would say, hey, you feel older today? Like some stupid shit where you're like, yeah, dude, like leave me alone. I know it's my birthday. I know I'm older.
Yeah.
But do you think about that at all? I don't necessarily think it's like I don't know if people like segment out their lives like my 20s were great, 30s were great, 40s were great, 50s were whatever. Like I don't even think I've like reflected on my 20s enough to like think about what's gonna happen when I'm 30.
Yeah, so I was just never really thought about it, to be honest. Like I still sometimes people ask me how old I am. I'm like, I'm 25.
Yeah,
like,
right.
No, I'm not, right? And so to me, even just like 29, it really kind of hit me that next year's 30. Excuse me. And it just everything speeds up. I feel like everything's just going by a lot faster, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, it's like kind of like an eye opener. Like, shit, people are getting married, people are having kids, people are doing all these things, moving. They're so many like lives are changing, and I feel like when we continue to get older, and it's tough to like talk about this around people who are older than you, because they're like, oh fuck, if I could kill to be 29
Yeah,
again,
I would love
and
to
I'm
be.
like,
I would love to be your age.
I'm like, dude, well, I'm sitting here thinking I'm still 25, right? So, I just think that the older you get, the faster time goes, right? Like, everything's just expedited. So, I try to slow down and just cherish it. Like, that's why I was like, I've traveled all these cities. I've done this. Like, let me stay at home.
Yeah.
let me hang out with the dogs. Like, hang out with Katie. Like, hang out with my family. Yeah, it's just kind of eye opening that we're not getting any younger.
Facts. We are not getting any younger. I don't got much else. I think this is great. I love obviously sitting down with you, getting the chance to talk to you. These conferences have been amazing. I think the meet the team aspect of things is always super interesting. I think people always want to hear from individuals like you too, who are our I was gonna say, I mean, you technically are the head of the company, so I mean, yeah, who are the heads of the company?
Yeah,
you know, it's the CEO who always drawing some more eyeballs.
Yeah, always, and we love doing it.
Hell
so,
yeah.
if there's anything else that you guys want to see, like I always say on those state of DTs or the virtual state of DTs that we'll do, if you ask me to talk, like we'll do it, right?
Yeah.
So, I appreciate what you're doing. And this guy, he won't tell you, but I'll tell you right now, has been the talk of the conference with the content that he's putting out, the interviews he's doing, everything that he's been doing. It's been awesome. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.